We're back in the studio. Jeff's in Chicago. Russ is in Japan playing baseball or watching baseball. I don't know. But we do have a hot 10 comics list to talk about. Let's get into it. How you doing, comic book community? We have a hot list of 10 comic books to talk to you about, courtesy of CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. They monitor the movers, the shakers, the comic books that caused a spike in the week, and then they report on it every Friday. They kick us the list a little early so we can make this video for you every single week. So hit that subscribe button. We do make a lot of comic book content, and you don't want to miss out. Let's start this list off at number 10 because we got The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, issue number 42, the 1 in 25 variant. This book was spiking to $70 out the gate last week. We were kind of joking about it, but in just 7 days, we're now seeing this book hit $90 to $100 strong. Okay. Now that's a very steep hike in just a short 7 days. It got me looking at other Squirrel Girl appearances. You know what? I'm a fan. I don't even care. I know it's kind of a market that is kind of split within the community, whether or not they enjoy this character. But if you've read Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel universe, you'll understand the character and it'll make you interested. And it'll make you understand why variants like this are spiking because they're low print and those who are into this character, they're paying for these appearances. Take a look over here at the Great Lakes Avengers Christmas Special. This is a one-shot that came out in 2006. I love this book. It's a low-key book, but this is the issue where you get the full panel of Squirrel Girl taking out Thanos. You don't know how she did it, but you know she did. And it's a minor key for that reason. It's one of my favorite Squirrel Girl appearances, and it's attainable and it's out there. I also like the fact that it's like a seasonal special comic book. It makes it regularly overlooked, just like her first appearance over in the winter special. And by the way, I looked at 9.8s. That book's still going strong, right around that $280 to $300. So this is a character that's still holding true. People are speculating and just really appreciate her in the Marvel universe, and they're paying for this first appearance. I want to also mention the Great Lakes first appearance. This is a team that she's in within continuity, she's regularly a part of. Their first appearance was in West Coast Avengers issue number 46. This is a very attainable book found in dollar bins and definitely one that people aren't speculating on, but this is an underrated team. It's an affordable minor key, and the team that Unbeatable Squirrel Girl works with regularly. So if you're specking on Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, you got to be specking on Great Lakes Avengers. Side note, I want to also mention the Unbeatable Squirrel Girl number 27. That variant is fantastic. I mean, Silver Surfer literally surfing with Squirrel Girl, and it's done by the great Mike and Laura Allred, the best team in comic books. I got to mention it. It's a $3 book. Doesn't matter. I love this book, and I'm sure someone is going to be grateful that I mentioned it. So that's for you. Okay, let's take a look at number 9 on the list here because we got Naomi number 3 causing a ruckus. Okay, Naomi number 3 hitting the stand this week, already going for between $10 and $15. Why is this book going for between $10 to $15? Is it because there is some type of speculation on a character that was featured in this book? No. Is it because there is maybe something that was revealed that may spec to a future character later in the run? Not really. Is it because 1 and 2 had some type of epic reveal? No, not at all. Okay, it's because Brian Michael Bendis is writing a killer story. That's why it's happening. Ryan said it from the beginning. He says this was the most exciting book on his pull list every week for the last 3 weeks. It's for good cause, and the market is reflecting that. Naomi 1, 2, and 3 are all going for between $10 and $15. It's on the rise because it's a good story. I read issue 1, and once I completed issue 1, I'm like, oh my goodness. It's kind of like a mystery comic book. It's a new character, so you got a first appearance, and it's such a good, unique story. And if Brian Michael Bendis' writing isn't for you, I mean, there's a lot of bubbles. I mean, there's a lot of bubbles. It's gonna be a lot of dialogue, and that's not my favorite thing that he does. However, the pacing of this book, oh my goodness, the artwork. Like, I've been needing this type of artwork in Marvel for quite some time. There are straight up like kids conversations that take place over pages and pages. And then all of a sudden there'll be a 2-page spread that'll blow your mind. And all it is foreshadowing for future comic books. You don't get any type of reason for why you're looking at a full page spread. You're just looking at a gorgeous spread all of a sudden of a crazy battle you have to know more about. And then it goes right back into the story. It's teasing me. I'm super excited. This is for good reason. Pick up Naomi. It's going to be on my pull list. The number one has a variant issue that's also going for a really strong number, like 10 to 15 bucks as well. So good book to be speccing on. Just like Immortal Hulk, when the story's so good that it's causing people to buy it, there's some attention that you need to put into this book, especially if you're looking to invest or speculate. Let's take a look at number 8 on the list, because we have Meet the Squirrels, issue number 2, the Razah 1 in 25 variant. CBSI put here that this is a striking cover. I mean, it is. It's really good use of space on this cover. It makes you focus in on the character that's being highlighted, and you see just very clear shot of a squirrel wearing a mask, a human mask, pretending to be a human. And when I read you what this comic book run is about, you're going to understand. This is just, I'm so interested in this book now because of this that I have to just read it verbatim from the site. The Warners are your typical family. Dad works at Stark. Mom works at the senator's office. Jennifer and Alice are students at Stanford High School. The only thing that makes them different is that they're shape-shifting squirrels, and they've infiltrated our society, and they're to pave a way for the squirrel invasion. This sounds super funny. It's a family of squirrels living amongst us, planning their large attack on the human race. This book is already going for $40 plus out the gate for good reason. This is a low print run. This is a low print book, and it's an awesome cover. I got to add this to my pull list. Let's take a look at number 7 on the list here, because I'm super stoked. We have the first appearance of Mr. Fixit. That's right. The return of the Gray Hulk. We have Incredible Hulk issue number 347 making its rounds on Instagram. People are buying the heck out of this book for, I think, 2 reasons. The main reason is what we're all thinking here, Immortal Hulk. You know, this is a spec book. If we see Mr. Fixit enter into the Immortal Hulk run, all hell's going to break loose, literally, more than it already has. But first appearance of Mr. Fixit in issue number 347 was once a $3 book, now spiking to $25 to $30. And what's really cool about this is that it's a spec book. It may be for nothing, but even if you decide to invest into like Gray Hulk appearances, there are McFarlane covers that are so choice. There are Larson covers that are fantastic. And then like, do I even need to mention the Wolverine cover? Gray Hulk is another personality that is, you know, within Bruce Banner. And the Gray Hulk is the most cunning version of the Hulk. He also happens to wear a freaking dope suit, which is way better than his leisure suit that he sometimes wears, as we know, especially the one he wears throughout the Infinity Gauntlet saga. But he also rocks Tommy guns from time to time. This is a really cool character, and one that if you're excited about Immortal Hulk and you think that he may make an appearance, it's a good bet. Possibly a better bet than Dr. Fry, but we'll see. And then let's take a look at number 6 on the list here, because we have a direct response to the Immortal Hulk news this week out of the most recent Immortal Hulk comic. We have reason to believe that the first appearance of Devil Hulk is going to cause a stir. We have his first appearance in both issues 12 and 13, the first cameo and full appearance of Devil Hulk. You've seen this version of Hulk before. If it's not ringing a bell, it's the most demented looking version of Hulk. He looks like a reptile. He's super scary. He's the sadistic, the horror version of the Hulk. And I don't want to get into what happened this week in the Hulk. I don't want to make anyone mad. There's a lot of people in the community who are reading this comic book. However, this book is spiking for good reason after the most recent release. A $2 to $3 book, both now going for 25 plus. Now, since we're not confined to the hotel room, I have members of the community to highlight here. Some members who went out and killed it on the hunt. Make sure to be tagging me at ComicTom101 over on Instagram. I love to showcase your success stories. Here we go. We have Nerd Outlaws, Elswick09, and Anthony and Comics picking up copies of Avengers number 5. And also take a look at that Naomi number 1 that Nerd Outlaws picked up. That's a good bet right there. But I'm super stoked about this because I was a little concerned that Conan wasn't going to be making as much of a splash as he deserves this year. And with a cameo appearance, this is a good sign. People are picking up the issue. They're specking on Conan because they're excited. And as a Conan fan, I'm stoked. All right. And then we have Monster_Comics SNJ showing off the trifecta Hulk run, all the She-Hulk appearances there that you got to have. He's specking on Immortal Hulk. A lot of us are, and I think it's for good reason. At the most recent convention at Emerald City Comic Con, there wasn't anybody I was talking to that was like, ooh, Ronan. No. There wasn't any Kate Bishop this, Kate Bishop that. No. There wasn't any Donny Cates this, any of that. It was like, who's got Immortal Hulk? That's what the dealers were talking about. Every booth was, do you have a number 2? Do you know anyone who has a number 2? You see what number 1's going for? You see how many number 1s I got? Like, Immortal Hulk is on people's minds. And after Emerald City Comic Con, I just have to say, like, reporting back, yeah, it's on not just the community's minds, it's on the retailers as well. So they're seeing a big change. So specking on books like Red She-Hulk and even others that we've mentioned on this list, I think is for good purpose. I'm excited to see what Immortal Hulk has in store for all of us. Pixel Kate, thank you so much for posting and tagging me in your Umbrella Academy finds. She's got 3 copies of the Free Comic Book Day issue. That's the first full appearance of Gerard Way's masterpiece. 2 copies of Apocalypse Suite, the first series there, as well as a Jim Lee variant. I'm jealous. I missed out on the Jim Lee variant, but I'm super stoked about that. Then we have Symbiote_David showing off his die number 1. That's awesome. Ryan was regretting not getting his copy signed at the convention graded. Yeah, lots of people who are really enjoying that book. I'm loving the covers on that. Thank you for posting. Perry Comics showing off his Nintendo Power number 6. Now, if you're watching our True First video, you'll know that this is Jeffrey Scott Campbell's first full appearance, his first published work, and it's in this Gamer magazine. Look out. If you're looking for this issue, it's issue number 6. A handful of them are still out there with that Mega Man 2 poster. If you can find it with the poster intact, it's going to be worth that much more. But regardless, it's worth it for that 1-page Jeff Scott Campbell goodness. I'm hoping someone goes out and gets that signed by him. Maybe I got to do that. I think that'd be a fun video to make. Oh, and then of course I got to give Paige, Comics with Bueller's daughter, a shout out, who went out and competed in a bodybuilding competition. If you're following Comics with Bueller, you're going to know all about what's going on over there. But she took first place, and the community is super stoked for her. Congratulations, Paige. And then finishing up the list, we have the Beer Dog showing off his ASM 212 first appearance of Hydro Man. And there's one reason why he's posting that, and that's because we had a recent release of the Lego sets showing off 2 different confirmations. We have Hydro Man Attack as a Lego set, as well as the Molten Man Battle Lego set. Now, are these going to be characters in the movie? Well, I think this is going to happen now. I think we actually have 2 characters that are going to be featured. Whether they are going to be illusions is the question, and I think that is what speculators are going to be basing the value of their copies of these comic books on. I don't know yet, but the fact that they are now in toys means that Marvel is trying to push these characters on the consumers, which means we may be seeing full appearances of both of these characters. So keep an eye out, just like the Beer Dog is. Okay, we're through the list, but I need help. I need help from a buddy. So let's take a little trip. Let's take a trip to Japan and have Russ take over this list for a little bit.
Hey Tom, wow, here I am in Akihabara, Tokyo. This place is ridiculous. Found a bunch of good comic books for you guys and found some great stuff. Coming in at number 5, we have Spider-Woman number 3. This is from volume number 5. This is the 1 in 25 variant. It was going for $15 until recently. Now it's going in the $65 to $75 range. I was always a fan of the normal Greg Land covers until I saw this variant. This thing is amazing. Go and pick it up because there's not going to be a whole lot of them out there. Well, still here in Akihabara. So, number 4 on the list is Dark Red number 1, the 1 in 10 Strowman variant. We're seeing strong sales of 40 plus. I'm even seeing now in the $50 to $55 range. But this book has had buzz. This book has had buzz for over a month. And we know that the Shannon Mayer variant, with only 150 copies made, is going for over 150. This book could break a lot of records. A lot of buzz, a lot of good book. Untamed, A Sinner's Prayer, number 1. This is the first appearance of Naomi from Stranger Comics. Now, I had never heard of these guys until about a month ago. I had a collection come in that had a bunch of Naomi comics that were all signed by the creators. And I looked at them and put them in a pile because I had no idea what they were, where they were coming from, and what was going on with them. Well, this last week they got announced that they're making a show on HBO focusing around Naomi, and this is her first appearance. Raw copies were long spec in the $15 range for a very long time. Now we're seeing this book go for about $40, and there is a ton of convention variants. Plus, the Stranger Comics guys are super cool. I ran into them at Emerald City, and they were trying to get me to buy more books, and I passed. Oops, missed out on that one.
Russ, thank you so much for helping out with the video. Hope you're having a good time in Japan. The whole team's excited to get you back here. All right, let's jump back into the list here at number 2 with some Therosamma goodness. We have Venom, Sinner Takes All, issue number 3, the first full appearance of She-Venom, making the list again. This book has its ebbs and flows, but you know what? It has an iconic cover. This story is so dark and so good that it makes sense that it's regularly on collectors' minds as a spec book and as a book to collect. This book was going for just right around $40 to $50 a couple weeks ago. Now we're seeing this book price hike up to $75 to $100 again. This isn't the first time that this book has hit that $100 mark. It's right back up there, and I think for good reason. I mean, a lot of Venom appearances are definitely on collectors' minds right now. I want to remind everybody that issue number 2 of this run, however, features the first cameo appearance of this character on the last page. It caused that book to spike, but not nearly as much as issue number 3. So keep an eye out for number 2 of this run. And I also want to mention, too, that Venom Lethal Protector issue number 3 featured the first female Venomized character. Now, it's a different character than Annie that we're looking at here in Sinner Takes All. We're looking at Scream, but that is the first female Venomized character. She appears at the end of Venom Lethal Protector issue number 3, and her first full appearance is Venom Lethal Protector issue number 4. We've seen Venomized characters make a stir in the market before, and this one is remaining strong. Let's take a look at the list at number 1 because we have some McFarlane goodness causing, I think, a big surprise in the market. So much of a surprise that I think we need to analyze all of the Spawn all in its entirety. It's just Spawn in its entirety. Why am I saying that? Because we have Spawn issue number 240 making the list, okay? Spawn issue number 240. Let's just throw that out there. Does anyone know why this book would be making the list? Is it spiking because of the movie? Is it spiking because McFarlane said something? Is there some type of toy line that came out? Was there a first appearance? No. It's spiking because it's low print. It's number 1 right now because 2 weeks ago, this book was going for a max of like $50. Like you could see recorded sales on eBay for as low as $30 in the last 60 days. As of the last week, we have sales hitting $150. Spawn, issue number 240, low print, not even a Capullo cover. This isn't an homage cover. This is a low print comic book that has spiked from typically around $30 to $40 to $150 in as little as a week. We need to just analyze Spawn in its entirety. There are error prints that we know of. There are second prints that we know of. There are random variants of just issues that people didn't order at that time that are now spiking to hundreds of dollars. Let's keep an eye out on Spawn. Let's keep an even closer eye out as we approach this new horror movie where Spawn is being played by Jamie Foxx and apparently doesn't say a word throughout it. I'm excited. It's not supposed to be a superhero movie. It's supposed to be a horror movie, and it's supposed to be something that's going to get a lot of people into Spawn. And if we already have Spawn collectors paying just crazy amounts of money for just low print books, imagine when we start seeing keys that we didn't even consider keys start making a splash in the community. Thank you so much for joining me today, comic book community. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on anything we do. We pump out a lot of comic book themed content, and we report on this Hot 10 Comics list every week on Friday, courtesy of CBSI, comicbookinvest.com. Shout out to all the members in the community who came out to visit at Emerald City Comic Con this last weekend. Ooh, and I have a winner of last week's giveaway. We're going to be sending out that Avengers number 5 variant featuring that Conan cameo to Susan Davila. Emails below so we can get this copy sent out to you. I do appreciate your time today. And as always, geek responsibly. Nothing
Said. What Tom doesn't know is that me and the Colonel here got something extra special from Japan for a giveaway this week. All you need to do is like, subscribe, comment down below, let us know what you think of this week's list, and you get an opportunity to win a genuine Japanese Spawn comic. I found a few of them, and they're gonna be going out in the mystery mail call this next month. Like, subscribe, comment down below for a chance to win